You ever notice that rhythm games are kinda weird? What do you mean weird? Surprisingly, I'm not talking about...
Have you been to one of our spaghetti nights yet? I hope so, because if you haven't, it is life-changing, alright?
This kind of weird. There seems to be, at least from what I've seen, a separation point in the genre of rhythm games that creates two very different groups of games. On one side, you've got Guitar Hero, you've got DDR, you've got Friday Night Funkin', you've got Frederick, Resurrection of Music, where you follow a resurrected Frederick Chopin in the modern world, battling evil music masters with renditions of his classic songs. You've got Frederick 2, Evil Strikes Back. These games utilize a simple formula of colored note/arrow/silhouetted dancer comes at you, hit the button at that time. It's easy to understand the gameplay, because the gameplay and the actual setting of the game are very detached from one another. Why does hitting the arrow make this child sing? Why do these colored circles pop up in different spots? Most immersion you'll get in these games is from smaller things, like the Guitar Hero track looking like the strings of a guitar. I think these are fine games, and it's easy to see why they have such large communities with tons of custom track support, but when it comes to engaging me with their gameplay, they just don't do it for me. But on the other side, you've got games like Rhythm Heaven, where each rhythm game is a different silly scenario with original characters. You've got Harmonite and Geometry Dash, where the rhythmic inputs are contextualized by elements from the 2D platforming genre. You've got Crypt of the Necrodancer, a dungeon crawler where everything tries to kill you to the beat of the music. You've got Thumper, where you're a little ladybug and you have to kill these Lovecraftian horror gods by riding a demonic roller coaster. You've got Fish, where you gotta keep these fish from getting to Spaghetti Night so you can eat the spaghetti first. The key word that separates these games is context. Using unique mechanics and settings to contextualize the rhythmic gameplay creates a much greater sense of immersion for the player. These games may not be very realistic, but ironically, they tend to make more sense. And one of my favorite examples of this comes from a game I've been somewhat obsessed with as of late, called A Dance of Fire and Ice. One rotation around the circle is equal to one measure of music. The entire game is built around that one simple mechanic, but what makes it interesting is the 1,000 different ways the developers were able to iterate off this idea. The bass beat, a string of quarter notes, creates a horizontal path. If a note is offbeat, it'll land on the top or the bottom of the circle, so offbeats make a vertical path. A quick string of eighth notes will make a 3-point turn, and 5 makes a square loop. What does a triplet make? That's right, a triangle. A set of 2 triplets make a hexagon. Once you get to 16th notes, you'll make an octagon. The game keeps building and building on that foundation, bringing in more patterns, more rhythms, each a joy to learn and master. The more you play the game, the more the title of the game starts to make sense. These planets of fire and ice are interlocked in a dance to the cosmos, each stage and each song setting a unique dance of its own. Stage 8 feels like rush hour on a busy city road, with the track design mimicking sidestepping other busy citizens as to not run into them on your way through. Stage 2 feels triumphant and motivating, and its ending, a straight shot upwards to the heavens, flips the camera midway and sends the planets downwards, acting as both a climax to the song and a breather for the player at the end of their journey. Stage 5 is jazzy, yet calm, introducing some of the game's first fast-paced swing moves that may trip the player up, but never in a demotivating way. Stage 10 is a diabolical delight, with the happiest song of the whole soundtrack accompanying some of the fastest technical movement in the game, feeling in many ways like an amped up sequel to Stage 5. Stage 7 feels odd and off-kilter, yet still happy and plucky, encouraging the player to stumble on through the windy track design like a toddler taking its first steps. Stages 3 and 9 both feel like tense escapes, yet have wildly different tones, with 3 feeling like a rush to escape a crumbling volcano snaking between rocks and impasses, and 9 inducing an electric frenzy to avoid alien capture, using difficult diagonal pathing to evade enemy attack. The final few stages have some of the best patterns and movement in the game, but I won't be spoiling those for you. You're just gonna have to see them yourselves. Now let's talk about the endgame. The endgame of Fire and Ice is massive, essentially unlocking an entire new game's worth of bonus and crossover stages to complete. A particular standout is the crossover stage with the mobile game Rhythm Journey, for which the song was so good that I actually went and downloaded the game to try it out. It's fine. However, the best part of the endgame, and what I think is the best mode the game has to offer, is Speed Trials. Every single stage can be sped up or slowed down to whatever speed the player wishes after the stage has been beaten on its normal speed. To the credit of the rhythm genre, most rhythm games I've played, even ones I'm not a huge fan of, offer a mode similar to this. However, I've never had as much fun with such a feature as I have in this game. Pushing yourself to improve your times on each stage is an incredibly gratifying experience. Some tracks like Stage 7 oddly feel more natural at higher speeds, and are an absolute blast to try and move through as fast as you can manage. And the hexagons and octagons of stages 8 and 10 are extremely satisfying to race through at high speeds.
Alright, I'm taking a walk, but quick editor's note here. Quick editor.mp4, if you will. It's a deer. There's a deer. There's a deer, look at this. How do I switch to this? There's a deer over there. Oh, it's running. It's running. Oh my god. Hello. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, there's another one! Oh, that's super cool now. I'm afraid they're gonna come out and kick my ass. Okay, quick editor's note. This game has DLC. I didn't even know. I didn't even know this game had DLC when I was recording this video. Then I learned it had DLC. Felt like an idiot. So I played the DLC. It's super good! It's super good. That's why the video's taking so long. It's super good DLC. Bit of history for this game. Fire and Ice. Came out in like 2014. It had like only 3 levels. And then like years later, it got expanded on into like this full release that I've been talking about. All these bonus levels and all that. But then it got a DLC pack. So this game that came out in 2014 got like a... I need to fix my hair. Got like a big pack of DLC. But basically, this game released in 2014. And has paid DLC in 2022. What? That's insane! What kind of game does that? Certainly not a game with like any more prominence than Fire and Ice. Certainly like no other game would do this. It's 5 new, they're all super good levels. They have like tons of new mechanics. I was jaw dropped through like all of it. I don't want to spoil it too much, but one of the levels is just like 30 levels in one. You'll understand what I mean when you play it. It's hard to explain, but it's also like the greatest thing ever. This might be my favorite rhythm game because like I really like Fish. I really like Rhythm Heaven. This is like on a whole new level. Like new, really, really good, substantial DLC to a game that's already awesome. Also, face reveal? But yeah, okay. Editor's note over.
Fire and Ice isn't that big of a game, and it may only take you a few hours to beat the main story, but it's additions like this that really make a game exciting for me. So, if you're looking for a new rhythm game to play, or are just a fan of the genre, I highly recommend A Dance of Fire and Ice.
Come on, Donkey. Only 5 new levels, but they're big. Big chonko, big Yoshi-sized levels. That's a reference. That's a reference to a funny thing.